Hello again, everyone. Viewer warning on this. If you have kids in the room or you're on speakers, you may want to turn your volume down, put your headphones in if you don't want anybody to hear what I'm going to say. I was only planning on doing the one video today, but this isn't somebody's story. This is a story I came across online on Facebook that I had seen shared a few times today. And this story to me covers so many different areas of narcissism that I've talked about and is so enraging. This is going to cover what I said about hoarders being narcissists, animal hoarders being narcissists, problems with feminism and the child court system and divorce. So be forewarned. Decision to choose between husband and 35 cats is clear for one woman. This is a story from catchannel.com. And the writer of this story is someone named Erica Sirocco. Now, as you know, anybody who's watched my videos knows I have 2 cats. You can't miss them. They're running around all the time. So, I love cats. I've always dealt with cats. This isn't about cats or animals, this video. And a lot of times my 2 pet videos, especially the first one, gets misunderstood that I have something against the pet itself. No, my problem is with the owners. So here we go. Let's get into this article that was shared on Cat Fancy on Facebook and is on this catchannel.com, which looks like it's a UK site. And it also links up to the Guardian newspaper where a story was run about him. And the thumbnail picture on the video that you saw is the actual woman that I'm talking about. When 33-year-old Kelly Cruz's husband gave her an ultimatum, either she get rid of her 35 cats or he walks, Cruz did the only thing that seemed logical, ditched her intolerant hubs in favor of her beloved felines. So we see how this starts. The husband's intolerant because he doesn't want to live with 35 cats. So we see how this works. Starts off right off the bat. I wasn't happy in the relationship, and at one point he said, "It's me or the cats," Cruz told the Mirror. I don't respond well to ultimatums, so I told him to go. So she's in a bad marriage. Okay, she's not happy in the marriage. Okay, but don't make the mistake, because I've already seen some people in comments from Facebook saying, "Oh, well, she turned to the cats because she's not happy." Well, she still has the cats, and the marriage is over. So if the cats were a response to the unhappy marriage, then why does she still have these 35 cats? Cruz now resides with her 35 snowshoe cats, 5 Chihuahuas, the little yippy dogs, and 1 Doberman, and children. You notice the children are put at the end after all the animals. Children come last in this article. Cruz doesn't live with her children and 35 snowshoes, 5 Chihuahuas, and 1 Doberman. No, she lives with 35 snow cats, 5 Chihuahuas, 1 Doberman, and children. Doesn't tell you how many fucking children she has, but they're sure to point out how many fucking cat, dog, and dogs she has. Cruz, an award-winning cat breeder responsible for bringing international notoriety for the snowshoe breed, spends more than $23,000 per year on vet bills, has had to modify her living space to accommodate her felines and minimize health risk. Minimize health risk. To who? Oh, herself and her children. $23,000 a year on vet bills. Oh, well, she's an award-winning breeder, so I'm sure it offsets the cost. We'll get to that later in the article. Okay, and then we'll come back to this point. The walls are coated in white plastic to prevent the spread of disease and smell. But regardless of the necessary adjustments, Cruz has never been happier. The cats are her life. What about her fucking children? What about her fucking children? Now, there's a link to this, and I'm going to put the link to this and the Guardian article, where in the Guardian article it said there had been past health risks, health problems already due to this. She's never been happier. No mention of the children. She's making the children live with 35 cats and 6 dogs. Look at the thumbnail picture. Look at the couch she's sitting on. How many blankets and throws does she have on there as she takes the pictures with her 7 cats as she's dressed like a fucking high school teenager? But she's never, good thing she's never been happier, right? How about her kids? How do they live in a house with 35 cats and 6 dogs and no father there now? Could they have friends over? How do they do their homework? Where do they eat? With the walls covered in fucking plastic to spread disease and smell. We got 2 cats here. Okay, anybody who has cats, okay, knows what cat piss is like. It's got ammonia in it. It's toxic. They're messy. They fight. They run around. They're constant. I got 2 cats. They don't shut the hell up when I'm making videos. They're all over the place, which is fine. I love cats. But 35 of them and 5 Chihuahuas, the little yippy dogs, and 1 Doberman. It does get hectic at times, but the children love being able to run freely with the dogs, and I love my cats, says Cruz. Some people might think I'm crazy, but I can't imagine living in a world without them. Could you imagine living in a world without your children, bitch? They can run with the dogs, but she loves the cats. There's a very, let me read that again. It does get a bit hectic at times, a bit. So you can imagine it has to be nonstop chaos in this house. But the children love being able to run freely with the dogs. And I love my cats. Where are you running freely with these dogs? In a house with 42 animals in it. Great, so the kids get to go out whenever they can get out with 6 dogs. 6 dogs that they have to go out, but you love your cats. Do you love your children, bitch? Doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it. Because you sure as shit didn't really love your husband if you couldn't understand why you didn't want to live with 35 cats and 6 dogs. Cruz, a self-professed cat lady, did not begin keeping cats until 2002, when her doctor recommended that doing so would help her allergies. Really? Really? To the point now that she's got to put plastic up on the walls and cover everything because of the health risk. But her allergies are okay. She doesn't have to pop any Sudafed. But she's got to cover the walls from the toxic cat piss and cat hair and all the other, and the cat shit. But she doesn't have the sniffles anymore, thank God. Thank God, because she's got 35 cats. A love affair quickly blossomed between Cruz and her felines, much to her then-husband's chagrin, forcing him out of the home and leaving room for Cruz to indulge her hobby, breeding snowshoes. Much to her husband's chagrin, huh? What a prick. What a prick. This must be the war on women everybody's talking about, okay? Because this poor guy married her, and then halfway through the marriage, she decides, okay, because some doctor who should lose his fucking medical license, if that's true, told her to start breeding cats to help with her allergies. Cats have dander on them. How does it doesn't even make sense on any goddamn fucking medical field whatsoever. What doctor is going to tell you to breed cats to help you with goddamn allergies? Much to her then husband's chagrin, forcing him out of the home, leaving her to indulge her hobby, breeding snowshoes. How about raising your fucking children? How about that? How about that instead of your fucking selfish, narcissistic hobby? Now, when I talked a little bit earlier about the $23,000 in vet bills because she's such an award-winning, but don't worry because she's an award-winning cat breeder, I don't make any money out of it. It's more of a hobby. But I like helping the bloodline of the snowshoe cat, said Cruz, a web developer and full-time mom. Full-time mom to what? To who? 35 cats? She's not even making money off of this. She does this for her own notoriety, for her own attention, okay? For animals who can't fucking talk back to her and tell her what a fuck up she is. So she's incurring a net loss of $23,000 a year just to bring these fucking things to the vet. That means there must always need upkeep, neutering, getting sick. $23,000 a year. And this is a British site, so what is that? About 15,000 pounds? $23,000 a year that doesn't go to her children, that doesn't go to food, that doesn't go for vacations for the kids, doesn't go for other things. The children probably have to sacrifice so she can have her fucking hobby and advance the snowcat bloodline. The snowshoe is a great breed of cat. They are a Siamese cousin with white feet. They are very dog-like. They adore people and like to be touched. I don't keep them all. Most of them I only keep for 1 or 2 litters until about 2 years old, and then they go on to their forever home. I probably bred about 200 cats, but I stand by each one through the whole of their lives. There's a lot going on in that statement. First of all, this article makes no mention of what, the effects on her marriage. Was it fair to the husband? Wait a minute, you got plastic on your walls and you got kids. Makes no mention of that. Just moves right on to the friggin' cats. Okay, she keeps them for 1 or 2 litters until they're about 2 years old. So she gets them, so they're constantly in heat, constantly caterwauling, okay, raising kittens, okay, with kittens up until the age of 2 years old when cats are at their most active and most hyper, trying to housebreak them, trying to just acclimate them to a house and all. And then once they get to real full cat maturity, even though cats are usually at maturity by 7 to 8 months, okay, they really don't lose the kitten in them for about 2 years. So soon as they're not as rambunctious as they're supposed to be, as they were when they were kittens, then she's ready to give them up. But she still follows them their whole lives. It has to be involved in everybody she gives them away. And they're constantly more and more and more cats coming. Cats in heat, cats caterwauling, male cats. That means these are unneutered cats she has in her house. Males and females. Cats, females in heat, caterwauling, male cats spraying all over the goddamn place. What do you think the plastic on the walls are for? From the male cat spraying to get in the females, be the one that impregnates them. And this is what she subjects her children to. And this is what she chose her husband over. And this is what, and this fucking article, and this catfancy.com, okay, and this, what is this? Catchannel.com, and then shared by Cat Fancy, calls out none of this. Calls out none of this. As for the unnamed ultimatum setting hubby, what a fuck, the ultimatum setting hubby. Like, do you see how they're making the husband the bad guy here? How dare he? Cruz feels his departure was for the best. For the best of who? For the best of your fucking narcissistic cat hobby? Or for the best of your children? Certainly not. The children still see him regularly, but we're much happier as a family now, Cruz said. Who's happier? So the children are happier not having their dad around. They're happier having 35 cats and 6 dogs than their father? Really? What are your thoughts? Would you ever ditch your significant other for your felines? No mention of the children. These statements go unchallenged by this person writing this article. Where's the family court in England or in this country that would allow this? How do you allow children, young children obviously, to live with 35 animals, 35 cats and 6 dogs? How do you allow her to spend $23,000 a year on animals and live in the condition she's living? Just look at her couch. Look at her couch in the thumbnail. Look at it. You gonna tell me the rest of the house isn't like that with plastic all over the walls? And then you go on Facebook to the Cat Fancy page on Facebook in the article, and you look at the comments of these women, one after another after another. You go, girl. This isn't a you go, girl moment. This isn't funny. This isn't something you joke about. You got small children living with this many animals, and this woman was allowed to choose these animals over her husband and keep the goddamn kids. Are you serious? And she's taking a $23,000 a year net loss by breeding these things and bringing them to the goddamn vet. And here we are, there's like over 700 comments, and most of them are, you can go and look at them yourself. Abhorrent. Abhorrent. And the people that try to call around and say 35 cats is a bitch much are just attacked by woman after woman after woman after woman. And this isn't an anti-woman thing. This is an anti-narcissistic woman thing. This is an anti-narcissistic mother thing. I talked about this in my other 2 pet videos. Okay, this is a means of control. This is about me, 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 me. And though the catchannel.com might not be the New York Times or the Washington Post or the Washington Times or whatever major newspaper it is, okay, the internet is big. And nowhere is it called out here. And this story was posted this morning, and this are just on the Facebook page, has over, at this point, 750 comments from this morning, mostly in support. Mostly in support. This is one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. This is everything that's wrong with the child court system, with the family court system. Because I guarantee you, if a man was blowing 23 grand a year and hoarding out his house with comic books or baseball cards or video games, okay, he would be demonized from here to fucking from here to Australia and back again. It would be everywhere. It'd be a national story. It'd be everywhere. But no, this friggin' woman gets a positive look at me story on this Cat Fancy or whatever the hell, on Cat Fancy and Cat Channel, and nobody calls it out. And what scares me is that nobody who runs these websites even stops to think for a minute like, wow, what about the children? Is this really healthy to be raised in a house, have 35 cats, even for the cats, if you're such a crazy cat lover, okay, to have 35 cats living under one roof like this, with 6 dogs in plastic on the goddamn walls? They said 23 grand in just vet bills. What about cat? That doesn't even, they're not even including cat food, cat litter, cat toys, which I'm sure are all over the place. Are you serious? And I see people joking about this. This isn't funny. And if you have a problem with me saying what I'm saying in this video, and you're a subscriber of mine, unsubscribe and leave. I really don't want you on my page. Okay? I really don't want you viewing my stuff, because you're really just a covert narcissist. Okay, looking for angles. All right, if you can't see right through this, that this is a major fucking problem, I don't know what to tell you. This is narcissism. This is narcissism at its worst. This is child abuse at its near worst. Not as bad as sexual abuse, obviously, and physical abuse, but this is as bad as it can possibly get. Okay, without being sexually or physically abused. Okay, putting your children at risk, stealing their goddamn childhood from them. Got the 23 grand that you don't spend on your children to breed cats and make no money out of it. Most cat breeders raise the cats until they're about 4 or 5 months, until they're ready for a new home. Nobody holds on to cat. No real legitimate cat breeder holds on to a cat for 2 years and then gives it the fuck away. This is in The Guardian in the UK. Will any police in the UK pick up on this? Will UK Child Services pick up on this? Will any of the Child Protective Services in the United Kingdom, because you know somebody from United Kingdom Child Protective Services is going to read The Guardian, see this story. Is anybody going to say, wow, maybe we should go do a fucking welfare check on this woman? Because the story in the actual UK Guardian is no better. It's basically the same story. And I'll put the links into both of them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If it was a man raising 35 pit bulls, okay, that woman would be in a battered woman's shelter. That guy would be demonized, thrown in jail, you name it, for endangering the welfare of children. This isn't safe. And don't tell me there's a difference between dogs and cats. Okay, this is a space thing. This is a health thing. You can't tell me if this was a man raising dogs, it would be, that would be the same thing. No, it would be complete demonization. But this woman gets a friggin' pass. Why? Why? Because she's a woman? And then she decides that to have the family? Really, you're a happier family. Your children are happier with their dad not in the house. So you can live with 35 cats, which are constantly breeding and in heat and nursing. Like I said, you see my cats running around here all the time. That's 2 of them. Could you imagine the chaos in that house? And the smell, I don't care how much plastic you got on the goddamn walls. They didn't say nothing about an air filtration system, did it? Because if she had one, they sure as shit would have put in there. They would have put something more than putting plastic and special paint on the walls. Anybody who's had cats has had a cat piss on something. You know what cat piss is like. Imagine 35 of them and 6 dogs. Holy God. If this doesn't prove to you that hoarders are narcissists, animal hoarders are narcissists, and that men just get an unfair shake in the child custody laws, in the media. Look at how this was reported. Look at the story. They don't even name how many children. She just says she has children. And she calls herself a full-time mom. How could you be a full-time mom with 35 cats and 6 dogs? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. These children should be taken away immediately. You want to live with your 35 cats? Then you don't get to have your children. Then the father should be able to take the children. And if it's the case that the father doesn't want the children and the father's made the decision to leave them there, then the children should go to someone else. The children should go to a family member, should go into foster care, because this isn't right. These children are going to have health problems. They're going to have social problems. They're going to have emotional problems because they're not loved. They're not loved. This woman put her cats ahead of her children, her family, her marriage, and she thinks it's funny. And what really disturbs me is the amount of people, women, making jokes about this with, you go girl, you showed him. I'd never give up my cat for my man. I never, really. We're not talking about one cat. We're talking about 35 cats. 35 cats. Constantly in heat, constantly breeding. For at least 2 years. For everyone that's born is there for at least 2 years. Can you imagine the amount of dander and shedding and cat fur? Not called out on it though. She ain't called out on it. Because she's a woman. It's funny. It's a you go girl moment. It's not a you go girl moment. So you're an abusing your children girl moment that nobody wants to talk about, that nobody wants to call out. Well, I'll call it out. Because this is absolutely disgusting. And anybody who's lived with a hoarder knows what I'm talking about. Knows what kind of damage this does. How it hurts you because you have no space. Everything's about the hoarding obsession. And that's all this is a hoarding obsession. Okay? It's a showpiece. For the snowcat breed. Who gives a shit? You're not even making any money off of it. It's like in those earlier videos, those parents who throw these extravagant parties just to look like a fucking big shot, just for the attention and just for the notoriety, and to hell with her own children. And not the Guardian newspaper, not this catchannel.com, and not this cat fancy website have called her out about it. Where is Child Protective Services in the UK? Because there's no way that a police agent, a government agent, or somebody from Child Protective Services in the UK hasn't read this story in The Guardian. No way. Will she even get a visit? I doubt it. I doubt it. But it'll be continued to be joked about and spread around on the web like, oh, you go girl moment. Her ultimatum given husband. Now, if he met her and she had 35 cats, then fine, you got a point. He knew what he was getting into, but she picked this up while they were married. under the guise of it's going to help her with her allergies from a medical. It's a bullshit set. Like, will you call yourself a journalist, either for the Guardian person or this Kelly Sacco, whatever her name is? This is journalism? What doctor? What doctor told you that? Doesn't even make sense. Because if that's true, if a doctor actually told her that, he should lose his fucking medical license. Period. Period. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is Ollie Matthews. GoFundMe link is in the donation box. And remember, if you enjoy this channel, please consider making a contribution. Remember, if you want your story made into a video and you do make a contribution, you go right to the top of the list and I'll immediately make you a video. Thank you for watching, everybody. See you all again soon. Bye.